Hello, everybody. So, how is your awakening going? How's the ascension going? So, I remember when I first started, well, I don't know how you can say first started awakening because I'm sure we've been awakening since birth, really. But I had this really big awakening at some point where I started seeing the codes of reality. So, I started seeing, it was like, matrix grid patterns, like geometric shapes, uh, kind of like mathematical numbers and concepts. But there was also like other shapes, not like PlayStation. PlayStation's got like, is it like a triangle and a circle, and there's like shapes like kind of that kind of thing, like a triangle and a circle. But it's like it's in a plus. It's like it's different. It's not on Earth. So when I try to tune into it from a third dimension perspective, or a fifth, even fifth dimension, it's very hard to explain. But so I was seeing all of these grid lines, and and so it's like, and then sometimes things can look staticky because you're seeing light codes. They're individual little light codes. It can almost look like a TV that is like out of date or something, like an old TV. It's kind of looks staticky. And that can kind of be when you're tuning into higher frequencies and you're seeing light codes. And so you're seeing in between the third dimension reality where it's like a old TV, a 1950s TV or outdated computer. You're kind of seeing the old and it's morphing with the new. I'm also like, I can also see, I don't see it as much now unless I unless I want to tune in. But I was also seeing like blueprints. Everything looked like a blueprint. So say, like a car blueprint, you'd see like it would just be like a blue sheet of plans type thing. I could see everything, like every car, every chair, every single thing. I could see its blueprint. And so it would have measurements, it would have details, it would have codes, um, which makes it sound like it's not organic, but it is organic at the same time. It's like a source energy frequency of like everything is a code, everything is a vibration, everything is a frequency. And what we're doing is creating these kind of codes and putting everything together to create something new. So, a code, you can slightly shift a code to create a new species of something. Say, like a tree, there could be trees that are the same species, but if you add a different code into it, then it can become like a new species of tree. But anyway, sidetracked. So what I was doing yesterday is I was standing in the kitchen and my window was open and there was this breeze that came in. It was this beautiful breeze and it was the perfect temperature, and it like flowed on my skin. I could feel it on my skin, and I just could feel all of my senses switching on. And it felt like the most beautiful feeling, like when you're in the higher dimensionals, you're in fifth dimension frequency or higher, or you're connected to a source energy, or you're in the flow and you're just like at one with the universe, just everything's working out and you're enjoying yourself. I just felt that energy, that beautiful energy, that connection to everything. And it was just through this breeze. And the physical touch of it was felt amazing. And it was, just a full heart, kind of higher self connection, just unconditional love and appreciation. And then all of a sudden, within the breeze, I could see codes. I could see the codes of the breeze. And it looked like a mathematical equation. So it was like coding, like somebody does coding on a computer and they'll create something doing coding. That's what I could see this breeze was. It was a sequence of codes, a sequence of patterning. And then I could see it was kind of like, like a video game where you can code, you can create a video game coding. This is what we are doing is we are coding our own game. Now go back if you haven't watched my other video. I think it's called Is This Reality a Game? It's all about, is this a game? But it was so fascinating. So this breeze had a code, had a pattern, had like a mathematical equation, but not like more advanced than our kind of third dimensional maths. It was so fascinating. Then all of a sudden, the guides told me that I don't know if you guys have ever watched Robert Edward Grant. So I've watched his stuff I think on YouTube and things like on and off type thing. He's quite amazing. He really seems to go deep into like he just figures things out really quickly about history, just about so many different things. He's called a polymath, which is like you just know so much about different subjects, and you can see patterns and things. He's really tuned into patterning. I feel like he's tuned into Fibonacci and all the sequencing, the patterns of the universe, and he's discovering a lot in the pyramids. His higher self is showing him so much more, unlocking. He's like unlocking different parts of history, which is exciting. But the guides were saying to me, Robert Edward Grant has, for lack of better words, he has the cheat codes of the game, is what they said. So Robert Edward Grant has the cheat codes of the game stored within his cells. So within Robert Edward Grant, he knows all of the it's the codes. So you could say the codes for the matrix, but when you say matrix, it doesn't sound as organic. It sounds more like, something that is created artificially. But it's not artificial. It is organic. How do you say what's real, what's not real, what's organic, what's natural, what's not natural, what's fake, what's artificial? It's a balance in the universe. But so, it was so weird. So the guides were saying that stored within Robert Edward Grant in his cells, he understands how these codes of everything work. Because I can see codes within everything, but it's still, like for me, maths is like, way over my head. It's so boring to me. But I can see some kind of formulation within each thing. So it's each item, like, a bed, a chair, a cloud, a car. Everything has a code, has a sequence, has a formulation. And so he can sense and figure out the formulation of everything, which means this is kind of how you manifest. So if you're really good at figuring out, just innately knowing the formulations of everything, you can create your own code. So it's like your own game or your own story within the matrix. And I think we're doing this and we don't even know we're doing it. Yeah, this is what the guides are saying. We are creating this game using the codes, but we don't actually know how the codes work. So we're just like randomly grabbing codes out of thin air, and we're creating a bit of a mush push of, chaos sometimes because we're so unaware. We know it. The higher self knows all the codes, knows the patterning, knows the geometric patterns, knows the sequencing, knows the grid lines, knows it. Our higher selves know everything, but we've forgotten. Yeah, so fascinating. So we can all, yeah. So what their guides were saying is Robert Edward Grant can see codes and numbers like Neo in the Matrix. Oh, which actually I can too, which is pretty cool. I think everyone is starting to see it too now. But I think what they were saying was he really knows how to interpret it at a higher level. Um, Sorry, I'm just chewing on my peppermint. So we can all see it. We can all see the codes if we want to. You can ask your guides. Like we're already like so many of you are already seeing light codes, like code frequencies. You can even like rub your eyes sometimes and you'll see like a kaleidoscope of geometric patterns and shapes. So that's like that's the codes, but you can also see the codes as numbers or other patterns, not just geometric shapes as well. Or you can see blueprints. Um, so they're saying Robert Edward Grant is just more aligned. He's coming back into alignment with all of that stuff. And I'm sure there's many more across the world, but I don't know why they just told me there was. I think Robert Edward Grant is tuned into Arcturian energy as well, which I'm tuned into Arcturian. So we probably have some kind of link there. So this is due, so why he's so good at it is due to many factors, the guides were saying. So it's due to his past lives, his DNA, so what he was born into from his parents, his ancestors. So the DNA line for his physical structure the DNA has the information within it. And his body type as well, his soul contract, his antenna. They were saying his antenna. So the brain is like it's antenna receiver type thing. The way I don't know if it's necessarily his brain or his pineal gland, the way it receives seems to decode information a lot easier than other people. And his visual perception as well works better than other people. It's kind of like, like somebody might be an amazing basketball player, and some of us are not so good at basketball. Like we've all, as souls, we've all come in like a little bit, maybe with a little bit more skill in one area, and that's due to our past lives. Like we might have built on that skill through many past lives, and also the DNA that our parents have, so that bloodline, and also our soul contracts, soul path, soul purpose, and as well as the places we visit. Like he's always going to Robert Edward Grant's always going to historical sites. So when you're always going to historical sites, your DNA is going to get activated as well, because the light codes within that area will activate you. And also, the food you eat, the food has light codes within it. The food will activate you as well. It's like if you're eating food from somewhere that's got ancient knowledge, then you're going to get activated within your cells. So the food will activate a lot of ancient knowledge. That's why the processed food is not that great, because there's not much like there's not really the ancient knowledge within the processed food. So yeah, that's why sometimes the fruits and the vegetables and things that have come from the earth, from the ground, from the trees, just have so much more of the energetic knowledge. So yeah, super exciting. So we are just so much more amazing than I've realized. That was all just, I was just standing there feeling the breeze. It's so weird how that happens sometimes. Yeah, and I don't know why they keep talking about Robert Edward Grant. I think he's just on a mission, just kind of, he's really helping waken people up, I think. And history, I said to somebody, history is about to change. And they're like, how history can't change? How can history change? I'm like, yeah, it can change because it wasn't the truth from the beginning. So the truth is coming out about how amazing we are. And yeah, if you start to see light code patterns, blueprints, numbers, formulations, yeah, I mean, I think it feels like computers and coding and all of that stuff has been based off the universe. Like the universe is like an organic mathematician, or organic um, computer, organic codes, organic, like it's all organic, but then we've created our own, what we would call artificial as well. So yeah, super exciting. Yeah, as above, so below. Very exciting. Alrighty, well, thank you for watching me and listening to me rave on. Did that really make sense? I don't know. Nothing's making sense anymore, but thank you so much. I love you, and I'm sending peace vibes from New Zealand. Talk to you guys soon.